Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today, I have a special treat for you. I'm going to tell you about 3 horror stories about delivery. Are you ready to get scared? Let's begin. The first story is about the unmarked package. In the quiet town of Valewood, where mist hugged the cobblestone streets like a shroud, the arrival of an unmarked package at the doorstep of the old Whitaker house set off a series of chilling events. The package was found by Sarah, a curious teenager with a penchant for the mysterious. It was a plain brown box, sealed with tape, no return address, no markings of any kind. Against her better judgment, Sarah brought the package inside. That night, the air grew thick with a sense of foreboding. The house, usually filled with the creaks and groans of old age, fell eerily silent. As Sarah unwrapped the package, a cold breeze swept through the room, extinguishing the candles and plunging her into darkness. Inside the box was an antique mirror, its frame carved with strange symbols that seemed to twist and writhe in the moonlight. Sarah's reflection was not her own. It was a gaunt, hollow-eyed specter that mimicked her movements with a sinister delay. The specter whispered of a curse, one that had plagued the Whitaker lineage for generations. It spoke of a dark ritual that could free it, but at a terrible cost. Sarah, entranced by the mirror's power, agreed to the terms. As the ritual commenced, the house trembled, and the spirits of the Whitaker ancestors emerged from the shadows, their eyes filled with sorrow and warning. They knew the price of the specter's freedom was the soul of a living descendant. Sarah, realizing her grave mistake, attempted to halt the ritual, but it was too late. The specter, now free, unleashed a malevolent force upon Valewood. Houses decayed at an unnatural pace, crops withered, and the townsfolk were plagued by nightmares. The unmarked package had brought more than just a cursed object. It had brought the downfall of Valewood. And as the town succumbed to the darkness, the old Whitaker house stood silent, a monument to the terror that came from the unmarked package. And so, the legend of the unmarked package spread, a tale to chill the bones of those who heard it, a warning to heed the omens and leave some mysteries well alone. The second story is about the last delivery. In the quiet town of Valewood, where mist hugged the streets like a shroud and the moon was a mere sliver in the sky, the legend of the last delivery began to unfold. It was said that on the night of a new moon, a delivery truck would appear at the edge of town, engine purring softly, its headlights piercing the fog. The driver, a shadowy figure draped in a tattered coat, would select a house at random, leaving a package on the doorstep. The package, wrapped in brown paper, tied with a string, and stained with age, bore no return address, only the scrawled words, "For you, the last delivery." Those who found the package on their doorstep were overcome with an inexplicable dread. Some say it was curiosity that led them to unwrap the parcel, others say it was an unseen force. Inside they would find an object from their deepest fears, a token of a dark past or an omen of a doomed future. As the story goes, once the package was opened, strange occurrences plagued the household. Whispers in the night, shadows darting just out of sight, and a feeling of being watched became the norm. The air would grow colder, the nights longer, and the mist outside thicker. The residents of Valewood whispered of a curse, one that tied the recipient of the package to the ghostly delivery truck. On the next new moon, it was said, the truck would return, and this time, its driver would come knocking to collect what was owed. And so, the people of Valewood lived in fear, marking the calendar, dreading the arrival of the new moon, and the last delivery that it might bring to their door. The third story is about the midnight courier. In the hushed town of Valewood, where the fog clung to the cobblestone streets like a shroud, there existed a legend that chilled the bones of every hearer. They called it the Midnight Courier, a spectral figure that roamed the streets when the clock tower struck 12, delivering a package to one unfortunate soul. The story begins with a young journalist named Alara, who, driven by curiosity and the thrill of a good story, decided to uncover the truth behind the midnight courier. She set out on the night of the new moon, armed with nothing but her lantern and notepad. As midnight approached, the air grew colder, and the silence was deafening. Then, out of the mist, a figure appeared, cloaked in tattered robes, its face hidden beneath a hood. In its skeletal hand, it held a small, wrapped box tied with a crimson ribbon. Elara followed the figure from a distance, her heart pounding in her chest. The courier stopped before an old, dilapidated house, placing the box at the doorstep. No sooner had the bell tolled the last of its 12 chimes than the figure vanished into thin air. Driven by an irresistible force, Elara approached the box. Her name was etched on the tag. With trembling hands, she opened it, and to her horror, she found an antique mirror. But the reflection showed not her own face, but that of the midnight courier, its hollow eyes staring back at her. From that night on, Elara was never seen again. They say she became the new midnight courier, doomed to wander the streets of Valewood, delivering cursed packages to those who dared to uncover secrets best left alone. And so, the legend continues, with each new moon bringing a fresh tale of the midnight courier, a reminder that some mysteries are not meant for the living to solve. These are just one of the many horror stories. There are many more out there, waiting to be discovered and told. Do you have any horror stories of your own? Share them in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more spooky content. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious. Bye.